What is up, guys? I'm back with another video. Yes, I know I took forever, and you guys have been telling me any updates, when's the new video coming out. I'm sorry, I've been lazy. There's been no quiet time at my house, but I finally have some time to do it. As you can tell, I'm in a vehicle. Not my car, but the truck today, so I finally have time to do this. So, just a heads up, this MEPS video is pretty much the same as everyone else's except towards the end, where if you have been following my story, I have a self-harm waiver in. So if you're just watching for the MEPS experience, everything will be the same for you up until the one-on-one portion with the doctor towards the end. So if you don't relate, if you don't have a self-harm waiver, make sure to skip ahead. Everything else will be just the same, nothing different. So without any further ado, let's get started. So my MEPS experience actually started at 5 in the morning. I'm doing the 2-day process. Some people do 1 day, some people do 2 days. I was told to head on over to my recruiter's office at 5 in the morning. When I got there, it was time to fill out some paperwork. I signed things like a social media agreement. That one was basically just, you can't really be talking crap about the president or politics and stuff, and I'm not sure if you can give your opinion or not. That's something I have to read over again. I'm sure your recruiter will go over it with you, but that was one. The one that kind of caught me off guard a little bit was the insurance, the one in case you die. I was told that that's something that you sign in boot camp, but I was actually told to sign it before MEPS, so I got to sign that. I had the insurance. I split it in between 2 people. You can do 2 people, 1 person, 3, I don't know. So I got that figured out. There's a whole bunch of other paperwork I don't remember. Your recruiter might do this or not. You might do it before you go to MEPS, a week before. I'm not sure. I think my recruiter and I just procrastinated, but so it might be a little bit different. So once we've signed all that in, it was time to head on over to MEPS. For me, it took us about an hour and 40 minutes to get there. Obviously, every state is different. It might be longer, it might be shorter. You might live down the street from MEPS. You might go yourself, but I went with one other recruit from my station, and my recruiter didn't take us, but his did, and we headed on over there. I was studying the entire time. I'm one of those people that is like really nervous when it comes to test taking. I know I had told you guys that I was gonna go to MEPS that following Monday, but this is actually what happened. I was given the practice PiCat on Tuesday, and I took it, and I scored well. So my recruiter was like, okay, you're taking the actual PiCat Wednesday, and then you're going to go to MEPS Thursday and Friday. And I was like, hold on. I was supposed to go next week, not this week. So he was like, you did good. Like, you just have to do the same thing you did when you took the practice for the PiCat and then for the actual verification test. And I was freaking out. That was just me. I was so stressed out. So I did the practice test, and then I did the actual PiCat, and then the following day is when I went to MEPS and took the verification test. So it was a lot of testing for me. So before all of that, before I even got to MEPS, I was still studying on the way. It was really dark, so I was like struggling with my book, going through my notes. I highly suggest that you do study. It is a little bit difficult, especially if you've been out of high school for a really long time. But if you're still in high school, pay attention in your classes, because a lot of the stuff that's on the PiCat is things you're learning in school. So, and remember, you have teachers at your disposal. Ask for help, and you can do it. I believe in you. If I could do it, you can do it. And that's saying a lot. So I studied the entire way. You could fall asleep, you could take a nap, be on your phone, talk with the recruiter, do whatever you want. I studied. So, and also if you see me looking down, I have notes because I will forget. I wrote this down. So once we got there, we didn't drive directly to MEPS. For me, we drove to the hotel where we were going to stay, and we did our check-in first. So before anything, you will have this really big, thick envelope that they will give you at your station, and you will carry with you to MEPS. So you'll have that with you. You'll have all your bags with you, preferably one. And then you will go and they will check for COVID. It's not the swab where they stick it up your nose and into your brain. It's just going like this and checking your temperature. And then you filling out a piece of paper if you've had any of the symptoms, if you've been exposed to anybody, or if you've had a test. Something that I had not been told. It might be different for you guys. You might know this, you might not. If you have had COVID, if you have been exposed to somebody who has COVID, or if you have taken a COVID test, you cannot go to MEPS for 14 days. You still have to do the 2-week quarantine. So make sure you tell your recruiter, hey, so I'm positive, or my mom and dad are positive. What do I do? And they will tell you what to do from there. And if you do, please don't lie. If you do have COVID, you don't want to go and be spreading it to everybody, because then you'll just shut down your MEPS station and everybody would hate you. But anyway, we tested for COVID. They took our temperatures. They gave us the form, and that form you will carry with you to MEPS. You do not leave any of your stuff there. You will be carrying everything with you to the MEPS station. And once we finished checking in, we drove on over to MEPS. We got there. They will give you a really quick safety brief before you enter the building. The security guards there, they will tell you like if you have any weapons. So knives, pocket knives, wallet knives, pepper spray, razors you can take, just not like the actual blade ones, like the old-fashioned razors. Guns, explosives. It's a federal building, so you can't go in with any of that. Please check your backpacks before you go. Don't just grab a backpack you have laying around or a backpack you haven't used in a while, because there may be stuff in there that you do not remember about. So make sure you dump your bag, your fanny pack, your, folder, whatever. Make sure nothing is in there that you don't want to be confiscated or get in trouble for, because it sucks. So make sure you check. And then once you get to the MEPS building, like I was saying, you'll have your COVID form. They'll give you the brief. They'll check your temperature again, and then you'll go through security. Security is basically like airport security. You'll have to take off your belt if you have any electronics. If you take your laptop, you have to put that in a bin. You'll walk through the security, and they'll check. And then after that, you grab all your stuff. And for my MEPS building, we had a room where we put all of our stuff in, and it was a whole bunch of cubbies, and they lock the door. So don't be afraid to leave your stuff there. Obviously, don't leave your phone laying outside of your bag. Put everything in your bag, because if it disappears, you're not going to get it back. Afterwards, after we left all of our stuff there, we were then kind of taken to the front desk, where they will scan your finger. It will be either your right index or your left index. And then they will take a picture of you, and you will be given your little ID tag, and you will place it on the left side of your chest. You cannot take this tag off whatsoever the entirety of your time there. Once you get your fingerprint and your ID sticker, then you are directed to your liaison. You have that big, thick packet with you. Mine was thick, so you guys might have a lot of paperwork or not. You guys might have little folders, but you will take it to your liaison. They will hold on to it for you. And you will then go to a room where you will wait to be called to take the PiCat. One thing I did not know about the PiCat verification test is that it is only 30 questions. It is not a 3-hour exam. You don't have to worry about that. A lot of the questions that popped up for me were questions I actually had trouble with. So be aware of that. Make sure to study all the things that you are having issues with. It took me about 2 hours to get called, and it sucks because it's cold and it's super early in the morning and you're trying not to fall asleep. Do not fall asleep, because you will literally get yelled at. We've had, I think, 3 people at different times of the day like be nodding off, and then somebody will just pop out of nowhere and they'll scream at you like, there's no sleeping, and immediately like they're like this and they're like, yes sir. So make sure you don't fall asleep so if you don't want to get called out. For the Marine Corps, there are 2 other exams after the PiCat, but let me say something before I forget. Your score, if you get 10 points more or 10 points less of your original score, you will have to take the ASVAB. You're going to have to take the entire exam all over again. So make sure that you do exactly the same thing or you will literally sit there for 3 hours and take the ASVAB. So yeah, I didn't know that. One of the girls that was sitting next to me had to take it again because I think she scored like 13 points more. So it sucks. It sucks if you do better because they're going to be like, okay, well, let's retest them. Another thing is you could be chosen to take the full ASVAB. Just keep that in mind. Don't just go in like, oh, I'm going to take the PiCat. You might be chosen to take the full ASVAB. So be prepared for that. So it's 30 questions. It's timed, so don't take too long on individual questions. You cannot go back. Once you submitted your answer, you move on. So make sure you're 100% on your answer. For the Marine Corps, there are 2 exams that you will take afterwards, which will be the cyber and then the personality test. For the cyber one, try your best. If you're not good with stuff like this, it's kind of like eliminating the ones that don't make sense and then picking the ones that you think are the ones. Just, best guesses, I guess. It's stuff like, if I remember correctly, there was like IP addresses, and then like easy ones like, if you're gonna use a PowerPoint or something, like what program do you use? Something like that. Yeah, there's no way to really study for that one. It's just assessing you. And then the personality one was like 140 questions. So it's easy though. You click like, oh, I agree a lot, or I don't agree. So you'll get through that really quickly. Afterwards, you will raise your hand or get up and then proceed to the little room where they will scan your finger and they will tell you if you passed or if you didn't pass. And afterwards, they will tell you to head on over to your liaison and you will tell them if you passed or if you didn't pass. And if you pass, congratulations, go eat. So you'll go eat. After eating, I waited, I think, 3 hours for everyone to finish. And it was just kind of like waiting for people to finish their exam and then all the hotel people kind of just to gather. And then we got taken to the hotel. It's like the DMV. It's literally just waiting and waiting and waiting and staring at the TV and then getting bored of the movie they're playing. I would literally just get up to go to the restroom to stretch my legs because you get tired of sitting down for so many hours. So yeah, so it was about 3 hours before we could go back to the hotel. Once we got to the hotel, that's when our check-in process really began. We had all our stuff. They checked for COVID again. They give you your room key. They give you a food voucher. And then you have the rest of the day to basically do whatever you want. You have to be back in your room at 9:30 and lights out are at 10. They don't go and check on you. So you could be up until 3-4 o'clock in the morning if you would want. But I highly, highly do not recommend that, because you will be waking up super, super early the following day. Food was good. I enjoyed it. I think the chicken was a little dry. I do have a quick video clip if I'm going to put it in. I think I will. It's right here. So it's dinner time, and let's see what we have to eat today. Ooh. We have a roll and some sort of barbecue chicken and some rice and some steamed vegetables. Okay, MEPS.
All right, I got to taste that to see if it's good or not. And then we also had a salad with the choice of balsamic vinaigrette or a ranch. I liked the balsamic better, so I decided to go with that. And as you can see, it is empty, all gone. I was hungry. And we got a Canada Dry and a cookie. So I'm definitely gonna eat. I am hungry. I will catch you guys later.
So that was the food for us. You might get something different. For those of you who have other waivers, I would recommend eating just because physical day is very, very, very long. If you are watching your weight, make sure that you get the healthier options because there were options for me. It was either chicken or like pork or something like that. So make sure you go for the leaner things. Or if you want the pork, go ahead and eat the pork. I mean, who cares? But that was basically day one. Make sure that you take a phone charger because you will be receiving a call from your recruiter just to go over the next day. You can call your parents, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your grandma. You know, they had a TV. I had a really nice hotel room to myself. It was, I think, a king bed. So I was in peace. I was so tired. The entire time I was on 1 hour of sleep just because I had been studying all night for the verification test. But it paid off in the end. I'm so happy. But the clothes that you will be taking, I might take a picture later on to show you guys what I was wearing. Make sure you iron it the night before because the next day it's so vital. I don't think people understand how vital physical day is. The better you look and the more respectful you are, I think it'll help you. Make sure you iron your shirt, that your pants are really nice. They don't have to be slacks. I wore black jeans and black Vans and a polo. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, we'll take a quick break and we'll start day 2 right now. Okay, so day 2. Day 2 is very, 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 very long. Very long. Eat the breakfast they give you in the morning, okay? That's my little advice for you. I woke up at 3 in the morning. We had to be down in the lobby at 4:15. I had my clothes already ironed and hanging in the closet. I put all my stuff away the night before because you will not be leaving anything behind. If you do, too bad, so sad. I mean, pack all your stuff, don't forget anything because the likeliness of you going back and getting it depends on your recruiter and the hotel. So, I was downstairs at 4:15 a.m. with all of my stuff. We once again did the exact same thing we did the day before, which we started the day with the COVID check. And then you also keep that little piece of paper. It's literally just one piece of paper that you will hold on to until you get to MEPS. And then afterwards, we had to go get our breakfast. Everything's to go because of COVID. I'm not sure how it was before, if you guys actually sat down and ate beforehand. But because of COVID, we had everything in a box and we were told to eat our breakfast on the bus. So yeah, so that was 4:15. We got to MEPS around 4:40 a.m. If you were not done with your breakfast by then, by the time you got off the bus, you were directed to throw away your breakfast, and we were told to get into one line. And it was crazy because the second day for me felt surreal. It was like all those YouTube videos that you watch that you kind of like absorb, and you see all these people getting off the bus at like 4 in the morning and they're getting yelled at, or they're standing in line and they're really, really quiet. Like, it's literally, well, for me, it was like that. And I was standing there with a whole bunch of other people. It's freezing cold outside. Everyone's super quiet. And then we have this guy come out of the building, and I think he was an officer in the Navy, And I was standing there, I was like, holy crap, like, this is so real. He came out of the building, and he was like, everything from now on is going to be yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Do you understand? And everyone was like, yes, sir. So he told us to get into 2 lines if you had been at MEPS the day prior. So I think it was like 17 of us, and we split. And then he told us to face forward, and everyone's like super quiet. It's freezing. Thank God I took a hoodie. Take a freaking sweater, because it is freezing inside and outside of the building. Ooh, what is going on here? My lighting. It's really cloudy outside, so if my lighting changes, I am so sorry. Let's see, let's lock that. There we go. Okay. So he was like, take out right now, like if you have a belt, if you have a cell phone, if you have a smartwatch, you're going to take that off, you're going to put it in your backpack, and you're going to take out your ID card, your social security, and your COVID sheet. Do you understand? And then everybody was like, yes, sir. And then he's like, okay, ready, go. And so everyone's like quietly taking everything off and like putting that in their backpacks. And we're just, afterwards, everyone's just kind of standing there holding their information kind of like this and just quietly like looking forward. And he was like, if you don't have your stuff ready by the time I get to you, you're going to go to the end of my line. Do you understand? And everybody was like, yes, sir. So he's going down the line, and then he gets past me, and he goes to the girl next to me. And she's kind of still fumbling with her things. And he straight up yelled at her. He was like, what did I say? Did you not hear what I said? And she was like, sir, I wasn't here yesterday, sir. And he's like, get to the end of my line. And it sucked because we were all the way in the front, and she had to go all the way to the end. So at that point, I think everybody knew he wasn't playing around after all the yelling. But yeah, it was cold. We were out there probably for about half an hour, maybe an hour, I'm not sure. So once we got all that stuff off, we had just our COVID and our ID and everything. We got into the MEPS building. They did the exact same thing they did the day before, which will be the COVID check. They will check you before you even get into the building. They will do that brief again. If you have any weapons, blah, blah, blah. Security, your stuff into the cubbies, your fingerprints, and then your ID sticker. And then this time you'll get your ID sticker and then a little strip with, I think 4 boxes or 5 boxes. I hear bells. Do you hear that? I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but I hear bells. Like an organ. Weird. Anyway, you will get a little strip for your ID, and then you will also put it on the left side of your chest, and that's for everything that we're going to be marking off later on. You don't have your big fat packet with you anymore, but you have to go meet with your liaison where they will return it to you. You cannot leave that packet anywhere. You have to keep it on you at all times. Sorry, I had to move. That is where all your medical paperwork is at. All your information, your waivers, everything. Everything that you've worked on with your recruiter will be in there. So for me, I was taken to go get my eyesight and my hearing tested first. For the eyesight, if you have glasses, you will also have to take a depth perception test, which will basically be wearing your glasses and then wearing 3D glasses on top of that to determine if you can figure out depth perception. So if one of the little circles pops out more than the other one. For me, it got a little tricky towards the end. If you fail this exam, I think the only jobs that will be taken away from you are driving. So motor T for Marine Corps and I don't know what else for any other branch. Army, I think it's the same thing. But yeah, so that's that. And then for the hearing, one problem that I came across, excuse me while I get comfortable, is since you're wearing masks, you get these little headphone things that like really push into your ears. And if you do this right now and you put if you put your hands over your ears and you talk, you can hear yourself. With the mask, it was almost the same. You could hear yourself obviously because it's pushing into your ears. But with your mask, you can hear yourself breathing. And I feel like that was an issue for me because I could hear myself breathing. And I was trying to listen to the little beeps that go on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't hear because I'm hearing myself breathe. So I probably shouldn't have, but I put my mask just a little bit below my nose, and that really helped. And after that, they will go with a marker and they will like fill in the little box. So you got your hearing, you got your eyesight checked, and then you have the rest. So after I got that checked, we all got taken back into a big room. And this is where we're going to do a whole bunch of paperwork. This is the part where everybody talks to you or tells you. This is the part where they grill you and they tell you, like, if you're lying, like, you're going to go to prison and you're going to get this much of a fine. So they will tell you that. It wasn't as dramatic as people make it out to seem, at least for my experience. They kind of were just like, don't do it. And everybody was like, aye, sir. So, let me catch my breath. So we did that. We did a whole bunch of paperwork. They will make you read over everything that you signed. That 140 questionnaire at the beginning when you first walked into the office will be there again, and will have all the marks that you checked off. So the self-harm one, and you just have to make sure that everything's correct. And then if you need to fix anything, they'll show you how to do that. They will also do a breathalyzer test, which will make you blow into the little machines that you see when people get pulled over for like DUIs. So don't drink alcohol the night before, especially if you're under the age of 21, because you're just dumb at that point. But if you're over the age of 21, do not drink, because they will be testing you for that. After the whole big room organizing paperwork, putting things in order, you will then continue to do all of the examinations. After that, for me, it was the P-check. So if you grew up sheltered, if you grew up never doing sports or changing in front of people or anything like that, or if you've never, basically, if you've never done any of that, this part there'll be 2 parts or 3 parts in this whole thing that will get you uncomfortable. The P-check, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl, you will go into a restroom with another person and a nurse. You will be put into 2 stalls. The mirrors are covered, so you can't be looking at reflections and being weird and staring at your neighbor. But you will have to put your underwear all the way to your ankles. The nurse will then tell you, I will have to look at you. I have to see your junk, your pee, and the cup at all times. If not, we're going to have an issue. So make sure you drink liquid the day before if you're pee shy. I did not know I was pee shy until I had to do the pee check. Awkwardly standing there thinking to myself, pee. If you pee, it'll go by faster and you can put your clothes back on. So it's definitely mental and it's definitely awkward. And if you're shy, it's even more awkward. Nobody likes showing other people your junk, you know? So, you will do that. And then for the girls, and I think for the guys too, they will check your stuff right there. There's like a little window. So like you see this window right here, it's kind of like, hey, I'm done peeing, here you go. And they will check everything for you there. For women, they will also have a pregnancy test. I think it would be really horrible to find out if you're pregnant right there, like, oh, hey, you're pregnant and disqualified, goodbye, you know, so make sure y'all being safe. So we did the P-check, and then I got to sit down and wait for the blood draw. Somebody told me that they were taking 3 vials of blood out of you. For me, it was only 1. So that was a myth, and I debunked it. It is only 1 vial. Do not pass out. Do not say you're scared of needles. Do not say you're scared of blood. Don't say any of that, because they will look at you closer, and if you close your eyes or actually pass out, you will be disqualified, and it is a pain in the butt to get a waiver for that. Somebody in my office, that happened to them, and I think it took them like 6 months or a year to get back to MEPS because they had disqualified him. So it is only 1 vial of blood. Talk to the nurse, be good, you'll be fine. And after that, you are taken to another place where you sit and wait for your first interview with the doctor. So let me see what I have in my notes. Right. Okay. So you have your first interview. This section, I had 1 doctor in the room with me and then 1 other person supervising. I'm not sure why that other person was there for, but they will ask you questions like, I don't know. Oh, drinking. One of the questions was drinking. Do you drink? If so, how often? How many? How many times a day? How many times a week? And stuff like that. So make sure, you're good with that. For the self-harm waiver, they will ask you about your scars. They will ask you if you've ever been suicidal, if you've ever had any suicidal ideation, if it runs in the family and stuff like that. So make sure you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted, or whatever people say. Don't start giving your life story. Just get to the point, answer the question they asked, and that's it. And then after that, this is the big split. Okay, after you have your first interview with your doctor, this is where the males and the females are split into 2 groups, and you will be taken into a huge room. For us, it was a really big room because obviously there has to be space in there for you guys to do the duck walk and the exercises. I don't know why it's so cold at MEPS. I don't know why they make it feel like a refrigerator, but once you get in there, they tell you take everything off. Take your socks off, your pants off, your shirt off, everything. You just have to strip to your underwear, or for females, your underwear and your bra. Make sure to only wear 1 layer of clothing, so just your shirt and your pants and your undergarments. No tank tops underneath and then another shirt and then another shirt on top of that. Makes it easier. And so we were all basically half naked, and we were standing in a line, and then this doctor comes in, and then another nurse comes in, and they're like, you will address the doctor as ma'am. You'll say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, do you understand? And everybody was like, yes, ma'am. So everyone talks about the duck walk. Yeah, it's awkward, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, but there are so many other exercises there that are weird as heck too. There was some foot strike thing we had to do, and it was weird. A lot of them I was like, what are we doing? And the doctor will literally go in front of everyone and check you. They'll test your balance. There's one where you have to do this with your fingers and look up and do this, and she'll stand in front of you and make sure you're touching all your fingers. And then there's one where you literally have to do this. They'll make you do a push-up against the wall just to check your shoulders and your back. So yeah, that's pretty much a whole bunch of little things that they make us do, and they'll check you. And here is the whole self-harm waiver one, where it gets a little bit different for us. Everyone else will go first. In my case, they made everyone who had a waiver go last. So I was waiting in that cold, frigid room, half naked, for about an hour before I got called. So, right, they will also weigh you, and they will get your height there. So, just an FYI. So duck walk, weight, height, your stretches, and then waiting till the very end. Once you have been called, you are going to do your one-on-one with the doctor. And she will first... Okay, this is something I just found out. Sometimes it may not be a female doctor for females, and vice versa for the guys, I think. Sometimes you will have a male doctor, and I know it's uncomfortable, but you gotta do it. For me, I was really, really lucky I got a female doctor. They will check your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your throat. They will make you bend over so they can check your spine. I think they check your hands and your feet as well. And then this is where the self-harm part comes in, and this is the part where I am so grateful that I did not lie. And here is the key point for everyone. Please do not lie. They will find out. I don't care what people have told you. I don't care if they've told you, oh, just tell them it was a sports accident, or your cat scratched you, or your iguana scratched you. No. Please do not. It is so obvious when you have self-harm scars. They will start, for me at least, and the other people who were there, they start at your feet with a flashlight. And this is even if you don't have self-harm scars. They will start at your feet with a flashlight, and they will slowly go up your body to check with a flashlight if you have any self-harm scars, whether it be burns, whether it be cuts, whatever. They will find it. And I saw the moment that she spotted my scars on my leg. She was slowly going up, and I saw her face immediately change. When she saw them, she kind of went, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this would have been bad. This would have been so bad. She saw it, and I think I saw it, and the nurse saw it when her face changed, but the nurse piped up, and she was like, oh, she has them declared. And when the nurse told her that my stuff was declared, I immediately saw her reaction change, and she kind of relaxed. And she was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to have some doctors later on check that out. You know, we have to go over everything with you. Let me finish the exam. So when she saw my scars and she found out that they were declared, she moved on. And for the girls who have never had a pap smear, or if they've never had anything checked downstairs, this part might be awkward for you. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. If you've dealt with traumas, sexual assault or rape, this might be triggering for you. Or, I don't know if you should tell them or not, but make sure that you go in knowing that you will get checked. So they will make you lay down on your back, but this is after they tell you to take everything off. You will be completely naked. So once you go into the room, they will immediately tell you to take everything off, and they will give you a paper robe to wear. And they will make you lay on your back, and they will quickly just, first they'll tell you to take your top off, and they'll look. For me, they told me that they had just stopped doing the hand exams. So instead of touching you to see if there's any bumps or lumps, it was visual. So it might be different. They might change it back when you go. But they just looked at it maybe for 3 seconds and moved on, and then they made me lay down. And it's really a quick just woo, woo, and you're done. It's I think in total maybe 4 seconds that they look at you. For the guys too, you guys will be checked as well downstairs. So make sure you read this little paper that they give you of everything that they will make you do. It is uncomfortable, I'm sure. We got to deal with it. So after that, here's also, again, a little bit more directed to my people with self-harm scars. I had the doctor look at my scars again. She wrote something down on a piece of paper, and then she called 3 other doctors. So one doctor came in, looked at my scars, and she was like, oh, no, those are really old, huh? And I went, yes, ma'am, they're over 10 years old. And she was like, okay, that's good. And then she wrote something down, signed something, and then left. And then a male doctor came in, and he was like, oh, can you count them for me? So I counted them. I have around 10, and they wrote it down. And then a third doctor came in, and she saw my scars, and she was like, oh, no, I think you'll be fine and stuff like that. So that was stressful. It was, and it was embarrassing. I felt very ashamed. So that's another little thing that I think we have to deal with, is knowing that it's being brought back up. It's, for me, it was not triggering, and I've told this to somebody before, and this is my personal opinion. If you are still getting triggered by scars, or if you get triggered by someone talking about it, or somebody showing you their scars, or talking about mental health, I don't think you should be in the military just yet. I don't think that you are 100% okay to join a force that is known to be stressful, that is known to, create moments in your life where you really question everything. So make sure that you're like 100% fine, because people, like, right now, everyone's talking about it. My recruiters are talking about it. Everybody in the office knows about it, like recruiters and stuff like that. The doctors know. You'll have a lot of doctors coming in and looking at you. You'll kind of feel like a pet almost, like poking and prodding you. So that happened, and then after everyone looked at my scars, she told me to write a statement again, and this is what you'll write, like, I have this many here, and I did it this time. I didn't know that waiver that you write there will be sent to headquarters. Doesn't matter if it's Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Army. It will be sent to headquarters. So make sure you write it nice and good. I did not know that. I kind of just, like, quickly wrote it and handed it to her because I thought it was for her. But no, that one is the one that went up to the Bureau of Medicine, and if I would have known that, I would have written it better, but I didn't. So, I was told to write the waiver again. Not the waiver. The how many scars and stuff I had. And then I was directed to wait outside of the doctor's office. There was another girl next to me. She was there for a weight waiver. So I think she was overweight by I don't know how many pounds. Honestly, I couldn't even tell. But everyone who has a waiver will be waiting as long as you are. And then you could or could not swear in. I was not able to swear in just because my waiver had not been approved at that point. It still has not been approved. It is still pending. What I talked about in my previous video is that my pre-screen had been approved, which was to get me to MEPS. My actual core waiver has not been approved yet and is currently at BUMED, which is the Bureau of Medicine. It's your BUMED waiver, and is basically like the final step for everything. And I'm just hoping and I'm praying that it goes through, because it's been forever and it's so much waiting and stress and all that stuff. But sat down with the doctor. She told me that I would not be swearing in because we're still waiting on the waiver and they need more information. But she said that she sees at least one self-harm waiver case per day. So we're not like unicorns. We're there. A lot of people have struggled before. So she told me, and this is where I'm telling you guys, like, hold on, I'm trying to fix my camera. Okay, so this is why I tell you, do not lie. She told me that I have better chances of my waiver going through because I told the truth. They tell me that they do not like it when they see people lie, and then basically tell them something and then they come out with, oh yeah, they are self-harm. Like, what's the point of lying? She straight up told me, she's like, it's super annoying and we don't like it because you're lying. We don't like liars. She said, but because you told the truth and you had them already written down and you had your waiver ready, you might have a better chance. So that gave me a little bit of encouragement. Afterwards, I was told go eat, and then I had to wait for everybody to finish because I did not swear in. I had to wait for my buddy from I'm forgetting. from the same recruiting station as me. I had to finish for him to finish everything. I need lunch. I haven't eaten yet. But I literally saw him like go back and forth. He had to go do this, go do that. Then he swore in, he finished, got his boot camp date. So it was definitely a little disheartening at that point because you see everybody swearing in. You can sometimes hear them. And you're just kind of like, oh, man, this sucks. But we're not losing hope. We're still pushing. I think we can do this. I just went to my first PT session with everyone in my office, on Thursday, and oh my god, I got slayed. I knew it was gonna be hard, but I didn't know it was gonna be that hard. So we're definitely starting to get ready. I heard from my recruiter that I will be hearing back from BUMED this week, I think. So, but we know how that goes. I say I'll find out this week, and then I don't find out for another week or two. So we're playing it by ear. With that was basically my whole MEPS experience. Nothing really majorly different from anybody else. If you've stayed up to this minute, 46 minutes, thank you. I do have an Instagram where you guys can hit me up with any questions. I've had a couple people send me stuff, and it's really great to talk to you guys. I've been getting to know a couple of you. It warms my heart that there's so many of us out there and we're trying to make our lives better. So, I will catch you guys later. Hopefully in less than a month. And I'm not being lazy, because I'm lazy. So yeah, that was my MEPS experience, and it was a little bit more personalized just because of the waivers, but thanks for sticking around. I will catch up with you guys soon. I do post more updates and more personalized things on Instagram. You guys don't have to follow me there if you don't want to. I get it. It's good. So I will catch you on the flip side. I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I gotta go pick up my dog from PetSmart. She's getting a haircut. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.